All right, welcome back to Just Enough Garage. This week, working on the 1997 Ford F-250. Let's get those heads on. John's burning the midnight oil. Nah, it just gets dark early in Washington. We're working on the Ford pickup. I just got back from California yesterday and I had to go to work. So John's been plugging along on this. What do you got done, John?
Most of the holes with the tap, I got that one, and that one to do.
So what are you doing? Tell the people what are you doing. What are you doing?
Well, I'm using a 12-pointed socket that fits on there.
All right, so to get everybody caught up, the head bolts we're reusing. There was a bunch of carbon that was in there. And by running that, what was that, a 9/16 by 12 tap through it there, you're getting all that carbon, the buildup, all the rust, crust. Anyways, we're just giving you a heads up. We're taking a few minutes to do that. John has already used the wire wheel on the bolt. And we're verifying that, yes, he has full engagement. So then we'll vacuum that stuff out so there's no stuff at the bottom of the hole that could potentially cause trouble later when we go to torque the heads on. Anyways, we'll just give you a quick update on that, and we'll get back to your regularly scheduled program. Ha! Shenanigans. All right, so we're trying to get this done Sunday afternoon. We got our kit for head gaskets, and inside here, I don't know if you can see, there is a little rubber boot. It's called a valve seal. The kit came with valve seals, so we're going to pull all the valves. We've got it set up to use the wire wheel, grind all the carbon buildup off, clean the heads, and then reassemble them. Our goal was to put the heads on today on the vehicle. I don't think we got enough time or daylight. I'm still working a six-day-a-week shift. It's already 3 o'clock. It's going to be dark in 3 hours. But hopefully we'll get the heads back together, so then sometime in the evening. Anyways, first thing we're going to do here is we pulled one spark plug. You can see they're ready for change. They're just old. So you don't need to pull your heads to change your spark plugs, but since they're off, we were going to do all new tune-up stuff on it when we did it. So for the astute people, this has been a few weeks, I realize. I've gone to Mexico. Mary's made the 1-year video. Hope you guys enjoyed those. I didn't show you nothing about Mexico, but you know, with the Peterson Museum. And now we're to, what did I do with my socket, John? My 9/16. There it is. Now we're to pulling these off. Remember I said I don't want to break any, so I was prepared to use the torch on them?
Well, it's too hard to get to the torch, so.
Well, we might have to put some muscle on it. That's on setting 2.
Well, how about you use a wrench?
Let's try some of these out. This one's okay. That one just holds that little deal there.
There you go.
This is that one.
Oh, it's that one.
That's why we did it. This is that one that we cut the thing on because it was rounded off. Maybe we'll see how good Blaster is now and just let it sit here.
Well, there's WD-40 that went into that one too.
Alright, stand by, getting a vice grip. Maybe this is why everybody ends up with headers, John. No, this is not why.
Yeah, to end up with headers, you gotta still get these off without problems.
Feels like it was turning.
Yeah, maybe.
Pretty exciting. Mary will probably just fast forward this anyways. let's get out our torch, heat it up, put the vice grip on, and it'll just turn right out. That will come out with that.
Yeah, I know.
So, pause, pause, pause. I think I've gone over this before a couple of times over the last year or so. We're just going to heat the nut. We don't want to heat anything else, basically. We just heat the nut. That will expand, releasing its grip on reality here. Ideally, I need to be fast before it all heats up to be the same temperature. And just like that, it goes.
Yeah, now you can just, it's finger tight.
Yeah, just grab a hold of it. Now, you put your vice grip on like that. Got hot. It got. It already cooled enough to where it was.
No longer finger tight.
Shrinked right up. Why do you use old pair of vice grips? Well, they're seasoned. They've experienced life before as a part of my tool repertoire.
Oh, good thing it sounds like styrofoam.
Oh, yeah. That's the sound of success, John.
Well, I guess if you ever want to hear success again, then get some styrofoam and rub it together.
You know how hard that would have been to do in the truck?
Oh, it would have been super easy.
Yeah.
The only thing that would have made it easier is pouring
Yeah,
gas
hold on,
on
I
it.
browned you with it. I'll put it down here on the ground so we don't step on it. It's all disfigured anyways.
Ah, I'm sure we can reuse it.
Okay, and this piece we need to reuse. Whatever piece that welds to. Alright.
Well, it's part of the exhaust restriction.
That we'll need to remember goes on there. Otherwise you burn up your spark plug wires.
Oh, that's always fun.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Yeah, that'd be a great idea.
So the only ones that were not those style was this one and this one, the long ones.
Mm-hmm.
Where'd those little ones go? Did I lose stuff already?
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
Oh, here they are.
Ah, yes, put the hot thing on the plastic table. Put it down with the disfigured one.
Okay. All the rest of these cool. We'll clean these all up with a wire brush. Okay.
Now make sure you grab the hot part of the exhaust.
Okay. This is good to go.
Wow.
We can set over here and think about its life for a while. And then we'll clean all that. Let's work on this one, John. Maybe we'll have better success.
Maybe.
Okay, before we do that, this piece I want to keep together because are these universal, John?
No,
Left and right?
they definitely aren't.
So we'll keep that with the passenger side. Just keep following me in a circle here.
Ring around the rosy.
Now come around here, John, and I'll show you. So off camera, I took the first one apart, make sure we had everything. This is the seat. This is an exhaust valve because there's the exhaust port. You can see that goes right in there. If you're not familiar with how these work, this is a valve. I just cleaned all the stuff off of it. You have the option of lapping this. I choose not to because it's in good shape and it was in running order. And this goes in here. So as the push rod pushes on the rocker, that opens just a little bit. All right, you can look right down the hole there. You'll see that I don't know if you can see. There it is. You see it opens just a little. This is a new, what they're going to call it. This is called a valve seal. Okay, so right here, this is the guide, and you feel that. These still feel good. It moves freely. So when you have a stuck valve, it's usually stuck in the guide. So sometimes you see people tap on different things, heat them. Anyways, this is removable, and you can put a new one in, but we're not going that far. Anyways, the kit came with these new seals. Here's the old one, and it was in good shape. You feel the rubber's kind of harder. So these will go on over the valve tip, and then you just set them, set it and forget it. And now what that does is it seals oil from when the oil comes down around here and runs down there. When the engine's running, oil won't go in. You won't see a smoky engine. So where oil gets in and causes you to smoke is either the rings or the valve seals. Seals. Then this goes back on over top, and this is where we use this guy. This is Sears and Roebuck. It's a Craftsman. I bought it new, and well, I did a 302 Ford with it, and that's why I needed it. It was like $22 at the time at the old mall. They had a Sears and Roebuck, and I bought this 30 years ago, easily. And then you got your two halves. And see, there's a notch, and then there's a groove on that. Now these do fly off, and you can be injured doing this.
Speaking of which, I should stand to the side.
Yeah, it is tapered. You got to get it just right, and there's some patience involved in this. Okay, there's the first one, and now I'll swing him around to the side. See how there's one side that's a little bit. Oop, I lost him. This is where a little magnet tip screwdriver is really good. I don't think I have one. Well, let's see if we can force the other one in. This is going to take us 45 minutes to do these if it goes well, and that's why I was saying about daylight. This is the easiest time to do this. The kit comes with it. I got to reposition. Because this is not right. These canted valves are a little bit difficult sometimes. All right, there's there. There's there. Now it's in, it's in. If it's not in, you're not in, and that's all there is to it. And this one is being difficult. The other one, see how it sets in, but that one isn't closing up. All right. Did it do it?
Doesn't look like it. There's a gap between them. Oh no, you did it.
Sometimes they close up on their own just by the...
Yeah, you got it, because it's the same as all the...
So that probably took 5 minutes to put it back together, a couple minutes off camera. I'll show you taking the next one apart. Now they are different. They're labeled intake, exhaust. So this runner here is lined up here. So this one's going to be an intake one. I'll show you the whole process. Put that on there like that. This is on the valve on its back. It's got a pin that's holding the valve, and then it's just simple leverage. Now because sometimes they're set and they don't want to come down, you got to give it a little, get it to kind of collapse on you, because these are heavy duty springs, you know. Yes, they make a better tool. I don't have access to one. I don't own one. This is what I have. It's a Sunday afternoon in the backyard, and sometimes you gotta see that crud gets in there, and sometimes you gotta, it's a challenge at times when things got 200,000 miles on them. See, I wiggled that, and sometimes they will shoot off, and there's an example of that. I didn't get a chance to release it before it worked its way out.
Well,
we lose the hat?
Yeah. Oh, I think I see it. Nope, that's a washer. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I don't think these are directional. I think they'll function either way, but we can see where the rubbing is more. It looks like that one, like that.
But it looks like it went like that too, because when I saw it spring off, it hit the wood and
Yeah.
just flopped down.
So we take the valve out.
Mm-hmm.
Now we can look and say, oh, that was sealing. That looks all right. All I'm doing is basically grinding this off, cleaning the end. So then that's the intake. And then these, where's that other screwdriver? That's kind of working them off like that. And that's all it is to it.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes on, and we'll put a new one on. So then I come over here to the grinder. Get rid of the reading glasses, put on the safety glasses. And you put your foot on this one so it doesn't dance around. And you just basically work the carbon off. Now, if you was an engine builder, this is a stock motor. But you see how this valve is dished? They have different valves, they have different piston tops, they have different chambers in which the cylinder head is, and that's all a way to build compression. You can change your connecting rods. You can actually get a stroker crank that'll change the distance from center of the crank of the rotating assembly. All these are different ways of raising your compression. There's the diameter of the valve, and then there's the shape of the valve, and then there's the position in the head. All of that has effect. So same, not same. You know? And of course, there's power adders. A guy could add turbos or whatever, superchargers, which are just forcing more air into the cylinder while that valve is open. The cam duration tells us how long the valve will be open. It could be a quick one, a short one. It could be a long one. Depends on how long the lobe is set for. Now we have a thing that's called, I'll do up here, but I don't want to do on this because that's nice and smooth. There's a thing called, Jack cleaned it up.
Yeah.
It's not perfect. My hands are dirty. I'm not a machinist. I'm doing essentially a, I guess what I'm doing is a backyard gasket job. I would love to have cleaned these heads with some pressure washing, and I think we're just going to use scrapers and brake clean on it. Okay, where's your WD-40?
In the shop, underneath that table the heads were on.
Oh, no.
You hold this.
Well, they don't need to see this. Anyways, I'm going to put a little WD-40 on there so that it slips on easily and I don't accidentally tear the boot. But see, I got corrosion in here and carbon buildup, so that's what I'm talking about when I wanted to clean it. Just put a little dab on that. A dab will do ya. Oh my goodness. Put some on there.
You said a
there
dab.
You go.
You didn't say spray it a bunch.
Here, hold this. Okay, now, some reason my hands are still grubby every second. Now, I put the valve back in.
And you make sure to push the seat off.
Alright. That looks like it's doing okay. Now, I don't love this tool because you can see over the years she's had some issues, mentally, physically issues. Actually, well, it's supposed to have some movement in it. Let's see if I can tighten that a little bit. You know when you use a tool and then you go to put the tool away for the day and you know it's not exactly right and you think, that's okay, it did today's job. And then somehow you have to come along and use that tool later. And you're like, why is this tool giving me trouble? It's because you never took the time to fix it when you had the chance to fix it last time. Yeah, this is pretty well bent. I don't know how to see, it doesn't align with the pin, and so I'm fighting the offset. I don't like that one. Let's hit it on some. Let's use our anvil over here, Johnny.
Oh, what an anvil.
Straighten that arm out.
Yeah.
So don't be sad if 2 out of 3 ain't bad. That one is, see, that one's still bent, but that one, I wonder if I could take it apart.
You could do it right.
I could do it right. Or I could just hit it with a hammer.
Well, now you have to make it smaller because it's wide open.
She is ready for business. Sometimes you just gotta whip it into shape, John. Teach it who's boss. Well, let's make sure we got this centered up right. Part of it is that these don't really fit very well. It saw what happened to its cousin and said, hey, easy, I'll do it. It's like that bolt's even bent.
How weird everything else.
I think I've mentioned this before when I say, why is everything I own junk?
Because you hit it with hammers.
No, it couldn't be me. You know, Craftsman tools probably were really good for the first 30 years. But once we get this set up for a big block Ford, it'll be all right.
Until we have to do something else.
Okay. Come off of there, you. What the hell?
Use your vice grips to open the vice grips. That ain't vice grips.
I don't know why these things don't work. Duralast. Piece of shit. All right. Now, if we don't catch a spring in the face.
If I catch a spring in the face, I'm going inside.
The hell with you, Ford. I'm leaving.
No, it's not long enough.
Yeah. Hold on to the head. It's moving all over. It's like there's something under the front of it.
Yeah, that bolt.
Okay. Hold it like that.
I'm holding it.
Oh, come on. You're kidding me. I gotta adjust this now.
I guess when you took the bent out of it.
Okay. Of course, it wants to close.
Well, now you're not lined up with the valve.
Yeah, I'm just going to show you quick and easy how to do this at home in your backyard.
It'll only take a hammer, some screwdrivers, vice grips.
I guess you could take this to the machine shop and give them a $500 bill to do the same thing.
Could. Where's the fun in that?
Hey, I'm saving you the money. Remember when I told the guy I don't even want this truck because it looks like too much work and I don't have time for it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ooh, trying to come off of there. Okay, we get that one in. We get that one in. Oh, baby. Now, if I can release this without it going crazy. Did it set? Oh, set it and forget it. Look how easy this was. Even a caveman can do it. So there, I've got 7 more to do, which is really 14 because I only had 16 to do. So if you're good at math, you would say that that was 1/8 of the way done, which is the same as quarter. No, I'd have to have these done to be quarter. I'm only 1/8, John, which really is a 16th. But I got 2, so now I'm back up to 1/8. Or I'm 14th out of 16th non-complete.
You're gonna start doing 32nds and 64ths?
Well, that's when the pieces are over there. Yeah, you want to mark your progress. Don't you guys hate it when you have bosses that go, what is your percentage of completion? You're like, I really don't even understand the full job scope, so 10%, 50%, 100, I don't know.
100%, I'm done now.
Yeah, I could be done right now. Anyways, we'll turn that off. We'll do the rest. We'll bring you back on. Anyways, I don't want to make the video longer. I've been trying to make, well, who knows how you feel about the museum. But I've been trying to make videos a little shorter, hoping to get more people to watch them. So give me feedback. If you like the longer videos and all the tediousness and all the horsery, then I'll try to include that. But I tried to streamline it so that people can actually watch it, because I realize that 45 minutes to an hour is a time commitment. And usually people watch it in the evenings or their off times. That being said, there's a bunch going on here you didn't see. In fact, John said to me, why didn't you film this stuff, Dad? And I said, well, I just feel like, you know, that's just life. So there's a lot of things going on. I'm rambling. We'll get back to you in a few minutes. So can you see with the sunshine? These got Ford insignias on them. I don't know if you can, there's one that you can see the Ford on, the Ford oval. So these are the intake and exhaust valve seals. You can see down in there. Jonathan and I have finished. So now we're going to do a little bit of a cleanup, and I'm going to rebuild those with can of brake clean to get all the carbon and stuff off. And then I think we should probably thread these holes with a thread chaser. Okay, next installment. 97 Ford 460, 7.5. It's been a week. It's now raining. Our tent is junk. Hi, John. How's it going?
It's going all right.
We're ready to set the heads. I've been still working 6 days a week. He's been patient with me. It's time to put it together. So let me show you what I got in my hovel of a mess here. We've sprayed the head gasket with copper. Yes, so I use this. I spray a brand new gasket. I think it helps me. I don't know. And then we're going to go set that head on. Because I have only 2 hands, I'm probably going to just film after we get it done. So let's do it. Okay, I'm trying to film this. Same time John's trying to clean the last little bit of dirt and grubs. It's set up the right way. This intake, you remember we just did all the rubbers. And down in there we've got that copper coated head gasket, all brand new Felt Pro stuff. So now if John's good, he can just go shh and put it right on there without scraping it. No, are you ready? You got the bosses? No, you got to get that. So look, you got a gap already right there. Push that gasket down so it's set. I'll hold the head. Well, as you can tell, my summer tent is garbage. All right, well, off camera, it was a 2-man job. 2-hand job? 4-hand job? Was it a 4-hand job?
It took 4 hands.
It took 4 hands.
Delicious.
John's got it placed on there. We got the gasket snapped in. A little bit of disagreement. Mary will edit the part where we disagreed so we appear like a perfect family in a well-oiled machine. He is a well-oiled machine now. We got the bolts oiled. He knows where they go. He's kept them all separated. What do you got there? What's going on there? It should drop through the head all the way. Did we not clean that hole?
We cleaned it, as far as I know.
Through the head, though.
Well, then I'll just have to push it past that a little.
Yeah, it must be crap in that hole. That's a lesson for us for the next one. We'll have to run the bolt through, make sure that there's no carbon still in there. Because we did the block and the bolts, but we probably omitted that hole. You'll just have to thread it through that trash.
Oh, good. There's 2 of them.
There you go. Just thread it through. It's got cholesterol, John.
Oh.
It's a Big Mac eating truck.
Yeah, it's an American.
Anyways, we're going to get this thing put out. We're trying to beat the daylight. We got some bright lights. I hope that's bright for you. While we're doing this real quick, before we torque them and all that jazz, let's talk about the last video. I mentioned it. You've already heard about it in the video right now. The last few minutes ago, we went to the Peterson Museum. and I always ask for comments and how people enjoy those trips and what they think of them, and I got 2 really good comments. So it's a shout out. One is my friend Eric, who you guys have seen, and one is a guy I don't know, and I'm sorry, I'll have to look online to see what your user number was, but you know who you are. Move your hand. Anyways, what your user number is. The point is I appreciate your comments. I was starting to feel like nobody gave a hang, and then those comments came through. So if you're curious, go back and read them. Basically, I'll give you the overview of our channel. This is stuff we'd normally be doing, and now we're doing it, and you guys are coming along for the view. So let's get the bolts tightened up. We'll get them snugged, put the head on, and then we'll do the torque range, and I'll show you that. And then because of the rain and the daylight, we're probably going to put that together. Johnny will do the intake and the push rods and all that on his own later, because I still have to work a bunch more days. We'll be right back with the next clip. Okay, so we got the first head set. John's got it set with, now he's at 70 foot-pounds. The final torque is 140. We're going to go 140, divide that by 3 increments. So it'll be 70, then it'll be like 100 and something, 110, 105, then it'll be 140. So he's going to get set up to do that. And just so if you haven't done this before, there's the click, and then he does the, so the Ford wants you to do its companion, so it's up, down, then side. So there's no diagonal in this one. Do you need a little extension on there? You're going to hit the top of that valve, put your little piece on there.
Yeah, I got the extension.
It is starting to rain, of course. We got lights. We're trying to finish. I don't know, maybe you guys aren't backyard mechanics, maybe you don't.
Maybe you don't understand.
I said we were going to do both heads. Well, I got the gasket sprayed right now with copper, and while it's drying, it's not dry, but you want the direction said the solvent to evaporate out of it. And being how it's like 48 degrees out here,
it's going to take forever to do
we're
that.
going to get started on the first torque, and then I don't have to adjust the torque wrench, right? I can, whatever the setting is on that will be the same for this, and we'll go right through it to final torque. So anyways, you listen, it'll click. So when you click, there's no, if you haven't used the torque wrench, you want to make sure that you don't yank on it, jerk on it. It's a smooth, steady pull, and then you know you've got a proper torque. If you're yanking on it or jerking on it, you could be overloading it and falsifying your number. Now, just for reference, 70 is the foot-pounds on the first round on this. These bolts are 9/16 bolts. The Subaru crap I deal with, 60 pounds, 65 pounds is all I do those with too. So, it is just raining to beat hell out here, John. You got the tent. I don't got the tent.
Well, you can stand in here.
I'm gonna have to, but can't see nothing. Probably we'll have to switch it up after you get.
Yeah, because I can barely do the 70.
Because you're weak.
Weird.
Yeah.
I got noodle arms or something.
Well, when you get old man stuff, you get old man anger, and then old man anger got old man strength.
Oh, well, I guess I need to get older then.
Yeah, you definitely need some problems in your life so you can understand where some of this internal frustration comes from. We were working on this before, and we made that reference about you wouldn't want me when I'm mad or wouldn't want me when I'm angry.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. I don't like you now.
Well, that's just because you're my offspring.
No, that's a joke from somewhere. Somebody goes, you wouldn't like me before I cop you. I don't like you now.
John's been rocking the Grizzly Adams thing here. He keeps talking about getting a haircut, but I ain't seen it yet.
Yeah, I need to get one. I don't like the hair in my face.
Well, maybe we should do a video. Maybe people would like to see a video of me using the weed whacker on you. I think I can do it without too many cuts. I mean, it's when it grabs the...
Your weed whacker or mine?
It don't matter. But when the hair grabs it like that...
It does matter. One of them is a lot more dangerous.
When the hair gets pulled into the weed whacker, then you got problems. Before that, it's going great. No problem at all.
Well, if you use the string attachment, I don't think it'd get hung up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Anybody who's used the weed whacker knows you get closer. Ah! And then you got problems.
And then it's wound up in the fence.
Yeah. Well, let's... this is kind of boring. We're just yammering at this point. I think that gasket's ready to go. We'll go ahead and set this other one, and then You guys can kind of watch us torque it. I think we'll probably just set up the camera and Mary could fast forward to some fiddle music or something. Maybe the devil went down to Georgia stuff, huh?
I think we'd have to pay for that.
Oh, that's right. We're on a budget. This is a budget channel.
Oh, totally.
Yeah. Like I say earlier on, this is just stuff I'm doing. I take you guys along, and sometimes I have a struggle with that because I think nobody cares. But for you few guys who do, I appreciate that. Like I say, we've been doing this a year. This is stuff we'd normally be doing, but we're just going to bring you along. And anyways, we're trying to get the channel to grow. Obviously, the best way to have it grow is to have fabulous high-end projects. That seems to be the norm.
Which we don't have the money to do.
No. It's kind of one of those deals where when you're there, you're a hero. Before that, you're just a zero, and we're still at the zero stage. So we're trucking along. We're trucking along. Listen to that rain.
Well, look at that rain.
Yay, Washington. So people say it doesn't rain here all the time. That's true. But today it is raining all the time.
It doesn't rain here all the time. It's only summer when it's
And this
dry.
is why we're trying to get it sealed up so we don't lose it. Back in a flash. All right, another update. Heads on. To you astute viewers, we recall this driver's side one, the back bolt, you were supposed to put the head bolt in first because it makes that little scratch. Let me see if I can zoom in and see if I'm a good zoomer. No. Oh, what do you do? No.
Tap on where you want it to attempt.
See that? You see that scratch right there? Point to Exhibit A, John, where the damage was. That's where Ford needed to modify so you could put that head bolt in there. It just barely scrapes the paint, but once you whale it through with a screwdriver and a hammer, she goes right in.
It's just a little bit hard to turn after a couple threads.
Yeah, she's on her way though. That's like what do they call it? Mother Nature's Loctite. Anyway.
I thought that was cross-threading.
Well, when you bungy the thread, we didn't because it was inside the head. It's just the head bolt to have that big washer integrated on the top, so it just wanted to scrape. It was nothing deal. But we didn't film that because people would say that was the wrong way of doing it. I know, but I already set this down in the gasket and I didn't want to mess with my copper. So John's going to tighten all those, get it set, and then we'll finish torquing. He's about halfway through on the first round on the other head.
I've got it all to the 70 except for the last one.
Okay, and then we'll monkey around with this. And then like I say, I think we're going to get out of the rain once this is set it and forget it. We'll let it torque, we'll let it rest.
Throw some rags on.
Typically torquing, like industrial refinery stuff, you would come back 4 hours later and do a relaxed torque. So if we let this set for more than 24 hours, 48 hours, it doesn't matter. We come back and we can verify that the torque is still the same before we put all the rocker arms and everything on. I'm sure it's fine. We're using the same head bolts.
Do these rocker arms, do you need to lash them or something?
No, these Ford ones, you just bury them, just bang right down. Huh. And they've figured it all. So, you know, that might have been an issue, I suppose, if we'd had the heads machined or something, but I don't think we need shims or nothing for that. I think the hydraulic lifter is engineered to kind of take care of it. Even though small block Chevys have lash, these Fords, they just bury them down. There's nothing to it. So better design? I don't know.
It's a design.
It's a design. All right, we'll get back with you in a few minutes when we're doing the real torquing.
So how's it going?
We're just finishing the first round. So both heads are caught up. Now we'll see if this setup's actually going to work on that back bolt.
Yeah.
Click any second. Well, let it rest. Do its cousin.
Those have a lot of cousins then. There's at least plenty of
the whole family's inbred. Ford family, man. Fine cars. They got cousins you don't even know about, John. The Comet, the Torino,
the Edsel,
the Fairmont, Then there was models, Model A's, B's, C's.
Model AA,
There
double
was
B.
the Jeeps they made, the tanks, the Liberators.
I was about to say there were some airplanes in there too.
I'm gonna come back to that one.
Like the tri-motor.
Yeah, that was a Cousin Eddie.
Alright, what? Tri-motors were popular at that time. Why have 4 when you can have 3?
Man, these are...
Head bolts?
You ever watch any of those assembly videos where
Where they have the big rack
Whoop,
of
and
sockets and it just does it?
and you're like, man, that's easy. Anybody can do that.
Yeah, it's not in a truck and it's got a system that just does it right.
And they go run them on the engine stamp.
Uh-huh.
This is what every mechanic, if you're a little bit of a mechanic, all mechanic, wannabe mechanic, this is the point where in the back of your mind you're like, did I do it right? Is it going to work?
Can you move 140 pounds?
No, the whole job.
Yeah.
When it's all said and done. I've done things wrong without knowing. I'm taking them apart and spot new gaskets and parts and put them back together. The worst one I ever did, I was 16 or 17 and I had a 77 Honda Civic, little gold one. It was like, no, that was the white one. Anyways, some head bolts have washers under them, and I put a head gasket in this Honda, and I didn't see that one of the washers was missing, so the bolt was bottoming out before it was putting the clamp, and it was in the corner, and I kept losing the head gasket. So I did it 3 times before I realized there was no washer. Attention to detail. It would run for about 3, 4, 5 days and then be puking water out the side.
Well, if you're not doing it twice, then did you really do it right?
Well, of course, me being a young man, these head gaskets must be junk. Blame the part, right?
Of course.
And then the last time I was looking at it, I was like, oh.
That's always the mark of a new mechanic. Blame the tools, not the
So I fixed it right.
guy who's doing them wrong.
That car got hit by another car, and I went to a scrapyard, and then like 6 months later I bought another car, and I thought, boy, that engine would sure be good. And I went to the junkyard, and the guy goes, nah, that thing's long gone.
I guess people liked Honda Civics back in the...
I think it went into the chewer for the $10 of scrap it was worth.
Maybe.
So when you get them to where you think they're going to break, and they're not, but you think they're going to,
Why would they break?
you just let it set.
You're only twisting a piece of metal at 140 pounds.
You just let it set and go on to another one. And then those are the only 2 that didn't click, but after you let it set, I think the bolt must twist under a load, and then it like takes the spring out of it when it relaxes. And then you can,
I don't know.
well, I mean, we put oil on them, but you know, it doesn't mean it's going to be. Everyone's different. Same, not same. See, now these will probably click right away. And my position's different every time.
Yeah.
Anyways, what I guess I'm saying is don't keep pulling on it if you're not sure. Stop. Take a break. You know, go kick the dog. You know, go drink a cold snack. Whatever the heck you do, don't rush at all at this portion of your job. Don't rush. Here, I'll put that down there to soak up that oil.
Oh yeah, he spilled some oil down there.
All right. So let's finish this out. The video's probably long enough. I'm trying to do shorter videos. I'm trying to be more interesting. I'm trying to guys show you places of my life. I realize it's only once a week I put out a video, which is a lot actually. It's been challenging with my work schedule, my family duties, and then I like to screw around a lot and goof off. I have a tendency to kind of
Go do something else.
you know, hey, you only live once. Enjoy it. Anyways, heads are on. Now, the next thing is we got, maybe I'll show another video. Oh, look at this, John. Look at how much rainwater came in there.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
I'm glad things are falling
Anyways,
apart.
I'll show you how I got the, I think I showed already in the videos how we organized the valve rockers and push
they're on a
rods.
board.
So now we just come back. Those will go right back in the same spot as they're being tightened. We haven't messed with the timing. It's going to push down whatever valve it wants to push down in relation to where the crank and the cam and all that are still in time. The distributor's still in time. Then we'll do the push rods and rocker arms. And then we'll see that, show it right in here, John. Because sometimes when you push a push rod in, it may not go in. And this way, with the intake manifold off, you will verify that they are all in. We'll most likely change the oil at that point before we put the intake manifold in.
Oh, because there's definitely water in there by now.
And we will put the oil right down in the lifters and over this cam where we can, because it is sat for a week or two, and we've sprayed some cleaner in there, and you know. But we'll still drain the oil before we start it. The exhaust system is just simple bolt-on. Valve covers, new gasket, simple bolt-on. Intake manifold, fuel injectors.
New radiator hoses, new radiator.
Yeah, we've got some of that stuff. We're probably going to run the engine with the hoses just off and a thing because we still got the junk that's in the coolant passages.
Oh yeah, I rounded off the
well, we weren't able to get that plug out. That one you need to put back in.
I put that one back in.
Oh, already?
Yeah, I did that when I was supposed to clean it, but then we weren't feeling good.
All right, so anyways, we'll wash this, let it pump out onto the ground and get all that snot out of there. The fear is we put a new radiator in it and all that junk will kick free and just plug up the new radiator. Well, why are we going to do that? We'll just go ahead and
for fun
cleanse it. We'll give it an enema through the garden hose system, verify that we have flow. We're going to replace all the heater hoses. We'll run the water through the heater hose same way so that we can get all the loose stuff out of that, so that it's probably plugged anyways. That stuff's terrible. Don't put it in your
engine, the head
yeah,
gasket.
I mean, I know why people do it, but when the gasket's failed, there's a piece missing, like we saw on this gasket. There's, you can't, you can't fix it.
It's a $20 fix that usually costs more than $20.
Yeah, you got to pick your battles, and I don't like using the snake oils or any of that, but I understand why people do. You would have been better off just keep running the truck with clean, clear water in it, and just keep replacing the water, and it would have ran a long time. Eventually, it will cylinder wash that. Cylinder. So like if you were stuck out on the road somewhere,
I don't even think water was getting in there though.
It wasn't, but it would be pushing out of the radiator and it would have failed to the point eventually it would have, you know, the gasket would be eroded away. But it's like you're out in the desert or somewhere, or in Alaska or wherever, and you got 100 miles to make, just put water in it. Just watch the temperature gauge, put the cap on halfway. You might only go 10 or 15 miles before you need to put more water in it, but you can do it.
But it's better than clogging your heater, because now you don't have heat in Alaska.
But what the problem is when somebody got the I don't give a hang attitude, watch your face.
I'll do what I want.
The give a hang attitude, and they just go for it, and it burns up the engine. It usually cracks the block. Oh, my shoelace is caught.
Man, this truck just doesn't want to let you go.
Fix or repair daily. Come on. I'll dump the water out after we close the hood, John, because what a mess.
What? No.
Anyways, at the end of the video, look, stopped raining. You know why it stopped raining? Because we're done.
Yeah, we just need to clean up now.
Yeah, that's God's way of saying you shouldn't be out here doing that. You should be watching YouTube. Anyways, like, comment, subscribe. Please comment. Please give me the thumbs up. Do all that stuff. I hate to be a beggar. Mary will show you the beggar thing again. But we enjoy doing this stuff. We like you guys seeing us do this stuff. We're going to have this thing ripping and roaring. It feels like it's a long-term project, but don't give up on yourself. And we'll see you next week. Hopefully we'll have it running. Talk to you later.